The sun shone brightly over the quaint town of Millfield, casting a golden glow across the vast expanses of wheat and cornfields. Despite the warmth, an undercurrent of tension was palpable. Donald Trump had declared his intention to visit the county fair. Farmers, grappling with drought, tariffs, and plummeting crop prices, viewed this as an opportunity to express their frustrations. Whispers spread about potential confrontations with the former president. Among the concerned was Jack Miller, a third-generation farmer whose family's land teetered on the edge of foreclosure. His calloused hands gripped a handmade sign that read, "Farmers, feed America. Not forgotten." Beside him stood others, their faces marked by worry and resolve. As the fairgrounds filled with attendees, local news outlets buzzed about the anticipated encounter. Trump's history with the agricultural sector was well known. Some attendees hoped for solutions, while others sought accountability. In the crowd stood a quiet woman named Sarah Harper. Unlike many, she wasn't driven by anger, but by a determination to offer more than just complaints. The atmosphere grew thick with anticipation. The farmers' voices were poised to be heard, but none anticipated that a single, gentle yet powerful voice would alter the course of events. Trump's motorcade arrived on the dusty fairgrounds, eliciting a mix of cheers and jeers. Security was stringent, yet the crowd pressed in. Cameras flashed, and reporters murmured, capturing every tense moment. Jack tightened his grip on his sign. Nearby, farmers voiced their grievances about lost subsidies, unfulfilled promises, and stringent trade policies. The drought had devastated their crops, and banks threatened to seize their lands. Trump stepped out, wearing a confident smile. "Great to be here," he announced. "We're going to make farming great again." The crowd responded with boos and shouts. "Where's the help?" someone shouted. "You promised." The mood grew increasingly volatile. Trump raised a hand, urging calm. "Let's discuss solutions," he said. But the crowd was beyond talk. They demanded action, paraphrasing Tool.com. Sarah made her way through the throng. Unlike others, she bore no sign. A farmhand rather than a landowner, she carried a different burden. Her family's small farm was barely surviving, and they depended on her. Her eyes met Trump's. She understood that anger wouldn't yield results. Listening might be the first step. Her voice pierced the chaos. "Mr. Trump," she called out, steady and clear. The crowd fell silent, surprised by her calm demeanor. "I'm Sarah Harper. I work the fields with my family. We've endured significant losses, but our belief in this land remains." She paused, searching for the right words. "Blame doesn't help. We need genuine partnerships." Trump nodded, intrigued. "Go on," he encouraged. She continued. "We don't seek charity. We desire policies that empower us. Education, improved water management, fair trade agreements." Some farmers scoffed, but others listened intently. Jack glanced at Sarah, surprised by her courage. Trump surveyed the faces before him, his demeanor softening. "I've made mistakes, but I want to help," he admitted. Sarah stepped back, but the crowd buzzed with renewed energy. Perhaps this wasn't merely a confrontation. It was a beginning. Scribber, +2 Spinbot plus TourWriteGuru.com +2. In the days leading up to the visit, farmers recounted tales of delayed aid, inequitable subsidies, and stifling regulations that threatened their livelihoods. Jack recalled his grandfather's stories of bountiful harvests, community spirit, and reverence for the land. Now, fields lay barren, debts accumulated, and hope waned. Sarah's family farm was no exception. Their well had dried up months prior. Without irrigation, crops withered. They prayed for rain, but it never came. At the fair, these narratives filled the air, fueling frustration, but also uniting farmers in shared adversity. Trump listened attentively, his usual bravado subdued. He recognized the reality behind the anger. real families facing real struggles. Sarah's words resonated. We want empowerment, not pity. Could he bridge the divide? Following the public exchange, Trump requested a private meeting with Sarah. In a quiet trailer behind the fairgrounds, they sat across from each other. Trump, typically commanding, appeared contemplative. I respect your honesty, he said. You represent many voices. Sarah nodded. Thank you. But respect isn't sufficient. We need action. They discussed water conservation, subsidies, educational programs, and rural development. Sarah shared insights from community meetings. Trump listened, posed questions, and took notes. Outside, Jack and other farmers waited anxiously, hopeful that the meeting might yield change. 2 weeks later, Sarah received a call. Trump intended to announce a new initiative, the Rural Revival Program, aimed at supporting struggling farmers through grants, education, and infrastructure enhancements. Sarah was invited to speak at the announcement event. News of the initiative spread swiftly through Millfield, stirring cautious optimism. Jack remained skeptical, but hopeful. The past was riddled with empty promises, but this felt different. On the day of the announcement, farmers gathered once more, their expressions a blend of hope and skepticism. Sarah stood at the podium, nervous yet resolute. She recounted her story, the challenges faced by her community, and the promise of a brighter future. Trump stood behind her, the weight of responsibility evident on his face. Not everyone embraced the program. Some politicians criticized it as wasteful spending. Corporate lobbyists expressed concerns, fearing changes that might impact their profits. Jack's family friend, a local congressman, advised caution. Sarah faced criticism as well, accused of aligning with a figure many distrusted. Despite the backlash, she remained steadfast. Change was seldom easy. At a town hall meeting, Sarah stood firm against opposition, reminding attendees of the stakes. We're fighting for our future, she declared. Our voices matter. Her determination inspired others, gradually shifting the community's sentiment. Small grants began reaching farms. New irrigation systems were installed. Workshops on sustainable farming practices attracted many. Jack witnessed his fields turning green again for the first time in years. Sarah organized local training sessions, educating neighbors on improving yields and conserving water. Trust between farmers and the program grew. Spinbot +114 Plagicure +114N. Wikipedia.org +14. Trump visited Millfield once more, this time greeted with cautious smiles instead of angry protests. At a community dinner, he spoke humbly about the necessity of unity. Sarah realized that sometimes change begins not with grand gestures but with small, meaningful steps. Jack's personal journey unfolded in quiet moments. His wife Maria was expecting their first child, but mounting medical bills loomed. The farm's debts threatened their future. Sarah visited frequently, offering support and guidance. One evening, Jack confided, "Sometimes I wonder if this fight is worth it." Sarah offered a gentle smile. "It is. For your family. For all of us." Their bond deepened, rooted in shared dreams. Just as progress seemed within reach, disaster struck. A severe storm swept through Millfield, destroying crops and damaging homes. Farmers despaired, feeling their hard-won progress unravel.